Hey everyone, welcome to Action Takers Author Spotlight. And today we have Shanna Lee Moore. She is a massage therapist, a hydration consultant, educator, entrepreneur, writer, and poet from Southern California. She loves to teach different perspectives and helps others achieve their dreams. Her mission is empowering others to create the life they've always wanted. Welcome, Shanna.
Hi, Sally. Thanks for having me.
So why don't you tell everyone a little bit about who you are, what you do, and then we'll talk about some of the books that you're a part of.
Yeah, and I just realized I'm going to be in the Action Takers with Healing Powers too, and we didn't have that one on the list. So, I am Shanna Lee Moore. I've been a massage therapist since 2007, and I've been working with the Japanese water technology company since 2012. I found that it was the best product to recommend to my clients after the results that I had with it. And really, that was when I kind of started this entrepreneurial journey of learning about different ways of doing business instead of just always exchanging our time for money, that there is other ways that we can make money and help people and really have that impact. I liked it because it was a global company and my massage is kind of limited to the people that are in my local service area, and I really wanted to be able to expand and help facilitate this journey, because I feel like we only have one body. And as long as we're taking care of it, like, this because you started your self-care, rock
Mhm.
star, like we have to be able to have our own cup full. It's like when we're on the airplane and we have to put on the oxygen mask first. And so many of us as wives and mothers and business owners, we don't take that time for ourselves, and then we're depleted and we're run down, and then maybe we don't have the best attitude, or when we get too hungry sometimes. And I'm like, I love intermittent fasting, but at times I'm like, okay, it's time to eat now. Give me that little energy boost. But
Yeah.
I really just want others to know that maybe there's different things that we weren't taught. The educational school system teaches a certain way, but the path of personal growth and leadership development that I've been on for the last 10 years has taught me way more valuable things about getting to know myself and overcoming some of my past traumas, really loving who I am and stepping into this, great version of myself, and really living in integrity to what my core beliefs are, and being able to really drop into my heart space, not always be in my analytical head. I'm an overthinker, and sometimes we have this analysis paralysis. So I'll be thinking about something and then I won't do anything, and I'll get all depressed and crawl back into bed. So there are different tools that we can use. And then when we get in these great communities of like-minded people or accelerated-minded people that, we're on this journey together, then we get to encourage and uplift one another. So I always just want to be that resource to others that maybe haven't been on this journey before, or maybe don't know where to start. That, there's lots of great things out there that you got to kind of experience for yourself, because not everybody, gets the same thing out of everything. And just, I love when people get what they want, like if they're happy, if they're excited, if they're passionate, they're out there, they're making things happen. It's like so fun to watch other people win, because it's not like a competition. Like some people think, oh, if somebody else is doing good, then I can't do good, or they're taking all the success from me. It's like, no, like there's plenty of room for everyone to have everything they want, and not everybody wants the same things. And so there really can be this spirit of collaboration and harmony together.
That's great. I love that. So why don't you're in Wellness for Winners, which is coming out February 15th. So
I'm excited.
it's so exciting, isn't it? And so
It
why don't you
is.
just tell us a little bit about what got you into this book, and maybe a little sneak peek in what your chapter is going to be about. Don't
Yeah,
give
so
it
I'm
away.
I won't give it all away because you definitely want to be a part of,
Right.
helping us with the launch and reading everybody else's stories. But I do talk about some different pillars of health in there, and just different tips and tricks that I've learned over the years. Like I said, because until we try it for ourselves, we may not know, which one we're going to respond best to. And just to give people some of these new ideas that they haven't thought of. A lot of times when I talk to someone and I, have a consultation call or something like that, I'll give them an idea and they're like, wow, I would have never thought of that. Even something with one of my close friends, one day she was like in a hurry, something last minute happened, she had to run out the house and she was like, oh no, like my chicken I was supposed to cook tonight for dinner, it's going to be bad, if I don't make it. And I was like, well, why don't you put it in the crock pot? Because then it can cook while you're out doing, the things that you need to do. And she's like, that's a great idea, so just, anything that can be fun, there's so much stress already. And I sometimes just go to the park and get on the swings or blow some bubbles, or I hula hoop with my friend. She has a hula hooping class she teaches, and she makes custom hoops. And it's just wonderful to just let our inner child come out and play.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes just simple and easy is the way to go. People make things sometimes just too complicated, you know. But yeah, that's human nature, I guess. But so what prompted you to get into wellness?
So when I became a massage therapist, I wasn't actually as healthy as I am now. And of course, I'm always improving on a daily basis. But I was still overweight, and I was taking about 6 different pharmaceutical products on a daily basis. And I just kind of was like, okay, the doctor said I need this, and so I'm going to take it. And I didn't really do much research or study or anything like that. When I was introduced to the water that I drink, it facilitated these changes in my body. It helped my body balance itself. And I was actually able to lose 30 pounds the first 3 months that I was drinking it. And I got off of 6 different prescriptions within 6 months. And the reason that that took some time was because when I had stopped everything cold turkey, when I had my daughters, when I was pregnant, I didn't want them to have the medication. So I stopped, but I ended up in the hospital both times and with the detox. And so we wanted to me and my doctor worked together to do it slowly, one prescription at a time. And I realized, that started this health journey for me. And I realized, okay, my body is 75% water. The type of water I put in it makes a big difference. These are the changes that have happened from it. And then shared that with my clients and other people that I know. They had their own stories, their own experiences that happened. And that really just kind of started this wellness journey. And then I was working with a mentor, kind of a business coach, where I had never had that type of a relationship in my life. Anyone that I was kind of modeling myself after that had more success. I read the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I was like, oh, you're like my rich mom now, because I have my other mom. And just learning the different things that now I can pass on to my kids, because we only have the knowledge and the experience thus far. And so we always are making our best choices and decisions based off of what we have. And then as we learn and grow, we can, make better choices in the future. And so one of my favorite books that I live by is called The Four Agreements. It's actually the book I'm writing about in another book that we do, which is the book I read. And my 11-year-old daughter has already read this book now. I didn't read it until I was 20. And so now she has 10 more years of experience in life where she's going to probably need to read it a couple times. I've read it about 4 times through, different stages and seasons of my life. And I've got different things out of it, which will be what I share in the book. But now she's already started this, and she can kind of have that in the back of her mind and her subconscious. It's already a little seed that's been planted that we can, continue to water and cultivate and let her have these different tools as she grows up and decides what she wants to do in life and who she wants to be.
Yeah, and that's one of my favorite books too. I've read that numerous times, and it every time I read it, another part of it, it's kind of like like the onion, another part just peels off, and something from inside comes out when I'm reading it. So yeah, that is a great book. So I'm so glad that you're writing about that. And and the book I read will be out in the end of March. So that's going to be our second book release as Action Takers Publishing, and we're really excited about these two books. That you're part of both of them, and so we're so happy to have you on this journey with us. So what's next for you, Shanna?
Well, I think the Action Takers with Healing Powers is going to be another little bit down further this year. So that's another one that I want to be in, to share, how I decided to do massage and help, facilitate these experiences for others. I get to remind the body of its optimal functioning in all the things that I do. It returns to homeostasis. It has, the ability to relax. We heal ourselves. That's why when we cut, we don't bleed out. So everything we know or remember or learn as we go along the way, it's already inside of us. We just have to be able to pull it back out. And so all the things that I do help. Because first, I worked on my physical body, and then I started to learn and grow and work on my mindset. And, I've battled with depression or, anxiety, or I still get nervous sometimes on these little talks that we have and run around like a crazy person before my interview. So, but it's inside of us. And it took me a while to really learn who I am and who I wanted to be, and really be able to express myself and communicate that. And I'm still learning and growing. I was, in a clubhouse room the other day, and, it's nice to be able to share. I don't always do it for recognition or for, feedback. But when you get that feedback and someone says, oh, that was great, you inspired me, or I got this little gold nugget from you, then it's kind of like that when you throw the stone into the water, it makes that ripple effect. I don't know how far any of these things that I'm doing are going to travel, but if I can just always leave the world a little bit better than when I found it. And that starts first with me as myself, my person, and then my family is my most immediate, the closest 5 people around me. And then my community that I'm a part of. And I'm so glad that I'm a part of the community that you and Linda have started here with getting our stories out to the world. And I love getting to know the other authors and really reading their stories in the books and going on the little Zooms and being able to do the summits and speak and support each other and follow each other on social media and see what we're all up to.
Yeah, I know that is fun, isn't it? So, you've been in, so what is it? This will be Wellness for Winners will be your second book?
Yes.
All right. So how has this process been for you? Why don't you just explain a little bit about the process and what you think about the 2 books that you've been in so far, and
Yeah.
then why is it important for you to just keep going and keep writing?
Well, I think that it's been a great experience. I love that Linda had this expertise. It was something she'd already done before. And that's what I've learned over the years, is when you want to do something new, you can learn from someone who's already experienced it. So that's why I wanted to partner with someone who was doing collaboration books. And I knew that through the power of community and sharing our resources and networks, that's what allows us to have the success to become the award-winning international best-selling authors. And I've always wanted to write poetry. I do write poetry since I was 12 years old. And I eventually will have a book of poetry of my own, like a solo project. But I'm using these collaboration books to get my name out there and to share some of my other stories. And there's people that I talk to, and they're still like, wow, I didn't know that season of your life happened, or I haven't heard that story before. And that's something my mentor and I have in common, because she'll be talking sometimes and I was like, I've known you 10 years now and I never heard that story. So I think that depending on my audience or, the book title or, where I am in my journey, different stories will come out. So maybe they're going to be a full autobiography one day. But for right now, I've been able to include some of my poems into the chapters of the collaboration books. And so people are getting to know my style of poetry as well. And that's really how I express myself best, is through my written word. Not always so articulate when I'm speaking, but I'm practicing and getting better at that always too. So, yeah, I don't know. I think just maybe being able to leave this legacy when my kids, are grown or they have kids of their own, and one day I'm gone, someone can be like, oh yeah, that was my great 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 grandma. She was in this Fearless Entrepreneur's book. Look at this, journey she went on. And, not everybody knows where I came from or all of the stories yet. And so as that unfolds, like that layer of onion, like you were talking about, it can provide healing for me as well, to share different parts of myself with the world, and to be able to grow past any of the negative experiences or trauma that I might have had, to be able to nurture that inner child and reparent her a little bit and let her know, she's loved and accepted for who she is, and she doesn't have to change anything about her, and be able to leave that behind for someone else to see. And there's so many great authors in the world that are long gone, and artists and all kinds of people that are still impacting the world through the work that they've done. And so it's exciting that, maybe one day the Women Action Takers Publishing, will be part of that, and all these stories of the people you're getting out to the world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and then that's the best part of being part of this is we're kind of like on the ground floor, and it's going to be really interesting to see how our authors grow. And how they blossom because of this starting and getting in this book and what comes out of it. So how do you choose what life experience to write about?
I just write. So I'm blessed to be able to write a lot in a short time. A lot of my poems I can write in 5 minutes or less. It just flows. And it's because I have so much going on in my head at all times, that by being able to actually put it onto paper, it's kind of like a dump. You get to unload it, and then I don't have to cycle it through anymore in my mind. I think they call that the monkey mind or something like that. But I just take a couple of deep breaths. I take into consideration the topic of the book or the title. I found that really titling my chapters has been the most challenging part, because I can just write my story out and then I'm like, oh yeah, I need a chapter title. And I think you guys helped me with my last one. I was like, oh yeah, I like that. Thanks. So, and the other one, I turned it all in and they're like, oh, you need a chapter title. And I was like, oh, okay. So I was taking like another class from someone, and I was like, hey, I'm going to borrow your thing, because we're all just borrowing everybody's information anyway.
Right. So do you have a poem that you have memorized that you can share with us, or something handy that you could read for us?
Don't. I'd have to run to the other room to do that.
Okay.
Oh no.
No, I was just a thought.
That I know. I think I did that one time. I was on another call and someone asked me the same thing. I'll have to remember to keep my little book next to me. So my very first poem ever, not really. So my first I wrote a Martin Luther King Day poem when I was like probably in second or third grade, but I have another poem, and I started it when I was 12, and I wrote it in third person, and I wrote it over the course of the year, and it's been lost in my lifetime. But because I would reread it before I would start the new edition, I sort of have the beginning of it memorized. So I guess I could share that. It's not
Okay.
a very happy poem though, but
No.
all right. So she had this cold feeling inside. She didn't know what from. She tried to make it go away, so she hid under the blanket. She went and drank hot chocolate, but it didn't really help. Then she realized the cold was from inside. It was loneliness. She was lonely. She needed someone to hold her tight, someone who cared about her and only her. She tried to find that someone, but it was a long journey. And now I have him. That's not in the poem, but that's yeah. So, I mean, I've always really used my poetry for my self-expression. I didn't really have a lot of close relationships. I had, a few core friends, and even right now I'm having a pretty substantial birthday this year. I like to celebrate ones that end in zeros and fives, so that's your clue, but that's it. And so I started a group chat on Facebook with it's about 8 ladies, and I was like, okay, you guys are probably the ones who check on me the most, that actually you have some friends where you call them, but you're the only one always calling them first, and then you have the ones that kind of reciprocate, or they reach out first. And so these are like those people for me. And I was like, okay, you guys, I trust you to plan my party. I've never had a surprise. I want a surprise. I'm going to start this group. You're all connected now. And now I'm going to leave, and you guys can go plan.
Awesome. There you go.
And you're just too far away. I have all these amazing friends now. I'm going to have
I'm
like a Zoom party.
Total other side of the country here. So, but thank you so much, Shanna, for joining us today. I just love you to death. And
I love the new hair. I'm thinking of going purple, but I haven't done it yet. But you inspire me.
I just keep switching it up until I find something I like. It's like, all right, what color will it be this week? So, but thank you for being here and for being part of Action Takers Publishing. We really enjoy having you.
Thank you.